4 or 5 days ago, the president went to cut the sword last week for over 500 million euro railway line to go from which would do about 100 kilometers of standard gauge railway line. The contract was signed in 2020, and the sword was cut in 2022. I must congratulate Honorable Amewu, because the fact that a contract is signed and passed the
But you signed the contract.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that to see the light of day. STX was brought to Parliament, but it never happened. The Hope City was announced by John Mahama. It never happened. And so, yes, I signed the contract. I mean, he could have forgotten about it, but he worked hard, and he's gotten it in record time. And I'll talk about infrastructure, about that.
So what was they're going to do the railway?
Yes.
From where to where?
They are doing from Manso to Huni Valley. And then they are doing inside the port as well, because the railway line that was done by...
What was this photograph? Oh, put the one on the this one. What's it?
Okay, this is the bridge over Volta, Pakada.
By railway?
Yes.
Over the Volta Lake?
Yes.
So this is finished. This is a photograph from Ghana?
Yes.
Complete?
Well, it's
no, I mean, what we are seeing has been done.
Yeah, what you're seeing is a picture of what has been done.
In Ghana?
Yes, behind Sinchi. And it goes 300...
And this one? So it continues like that?
Yeah, that's it, across the water.
Oh, wow. But why are you, as I was asking you that Sunday, why are you doing this in an obscure area? I want people to understand. Why are you doing Pakadan?
We had, when I became the minister, there were 3 things that were before us. One was the Eastern Line, Accra to Kumasi.
Yes, very important.
That was a priority.
Yes.
For more than one reason. First of all, it goes through Bonkra Inland Port.
Yeah.
Secondly, you have 5 million people in the Greater Accra region and 5 million people in the Ashanti region. And so people have told me that even the passenger traffic along that line will be enough.
Why wasn't that the priority?
It was a priority, but it was going through a BOT process. It's such a lucrative line that it doesn't have to even, government doesn't have to spend money on it. We had $2 billion allocated to railway. So we started the process of finding a strategic investor. We started with so many people, ended up with 3 people, about 8 people. We chose one person. The person who was second argued about the process, wrote to the Attorney General and so on and so forth. So they asked us to do the process again. In the meantime, if you remember, the finance minister at one of his budgets, his mid-year review budget, said he had allocated $200 million for the Accra to his own section of the line. The reason why he had allocated that $200 million for that, when Pricewaterhouse did the feasibility study, there was a financial viability gap. And so therefore he had allocated that money as government's contribution. So the only reason why that line stalled was because the processes kept too long. Paul.
So where is it today? Accra Kumasi?
Please. The minister will come and talk about it. I mean, who is on top of everything.
Okay, all right.
But let me tell you something. Even this line you saw, it started in 2007.
7, Kufuor?
Yes, Kufuor's time. The first, I'm talking about the line across the water.
This Impakadan thing?
Yes, the first person who worked on it was Professor Mia Kunfi. He did he was doing what he called a multimodal system. It would have gone to Akosombo, not in Pakadan, and then to continue on the water, and then it will go to Yape or Bupe. Finished the feasibility studies and everything. Started the process for looking for the money. We lost power. 8 years, NDC continued looking for the money. I remember that in October of their last year, that's when they brought the agreement to Parliament. And I remember sitting in the chair as the Deputy Speaker, and Chairman was saying this and this and this. And I said to him that, do you know who is going to implement it? Don't you want to win power? You may be the one to implement it. I didn't know that I was the one who was going to implement it.
Oh, I see.
So the minute we came to power, I went to look at that line. And I came to the conclusion that where it was terminating was not a good place. Because I saw the railway as a means to an end, not an end to itself. That wherever the railway goes, like water, Interplus, economic development should flow. You know Elephant and Castle and so on in the UK. You know this, the one that goes to the east, this Crossrail, whatever they call it in the UK. Railway it creates economic development.
It does, yes.
Listen, not to bore you. When the British brought the railway to Ghana, they brought it in 1898. By 1901, they had reached Kumasi. Peter Kwashi had brought cocoa in just before then, about 1876. He brought the eastern part of Ghana. He got to the western part of Ghana. What happened was that the people, our grandfathers and great-grandfathers, they were carrying the cocoa on their head one at a time to the port or rolling it in barrels. When they saw the train going up and down, they started putting the train. It wasn't any good agricultural practice or anything. They themselves started growing the cocoa. By 1930, the Gold Coast then, which did not even include Ashanti, had become the richest British colony in Africa, all because of infrastructure. And I say this because infrastructure will transform this country totally. So there are three things that people are, and I'm happy that the government, the president is still looking at infrastructure in spite of the fact that there's IMF and everything. He has recently cut sword. He could have cancelled it.
Yeah, he could have.
For the construction of over 500 million euro line of the Western Line. It's the largest single railway project that's ever been done.
The last thing on railway, tell us, why is Mpakadan important? Why are you doing a railway from Tema to Akosombo? Why? Who goes to Tema to Akosombo?
We're not going to Akosombo. It was part, so we redesigned it to be part of the Ghana-Burkina Railway Connectivity Project.
Oh, entire Eastern Corridor?
Yes, I was in South Africa when I got a call from the president that I should meet in Burkina.
You meet him in Burkina?
Charlie. I remember we missed the flight, we missed the flight. By the time we got to Burkina, they were about to start the meeting. Luckily for me, they met me. The minister there was a nice guy. He met me. And so the president and the Burkina president were in an inner room. When they came out, I was sitting there. And the president of Burkina said, "You've got to do your line all the way to Burkina." Now, if we pass the Kumasi Road, it's 200 kilometers more. Because it goes this way and it goes. If we pass that way, and also that can also deal with Sheni. The iron ore, that was the thinking. So let's pass the Eastern Corridor.
So this is purely commercial?
Commercial.
Trade and commercial?
Commercial.
Not passenger?
Not mainly passenger. But what we've seen over time is that once you do it, passenger starts. I mean, if, I don't know whether you're interested in real estate, if the train starts running there, it will be like...
If it's shorter to Accra than Pram Pram is, I can go and stay there.
That's the point.
So I stay somewhere in the Eastern Corridor. It's 30 minutes to Tema.
Oh,
I'm good to go.
You're good to go. And there's no traffic or anything like that.
No traffic, zero.
So
it never stops. It's just going,
That's the point. And so we redesigned it to become part of the Tema Paka line. And let me tell you something. When we went to Akosombo, I said the project can't be in Akosombo for three reasons. First of all, I asked the engineers whether it will not affect the dam, because Akosombo is rocky and they're going to drill about 1.3 kilometers. And at a certain point, they were going to be 60 meters away from the dam. When I asked the engineers, they were all, I didn't know, I thought there were as many opinions as there were lawyers. But I saw that engineers are...
They think the same?
No, they are more diverse in their thinking than lawyers.
Oh, I see.
Some people say there's controlled drilling, other people said this. I said, listen, I don't want it to be said that Kwame Nkrumah built his dam and then Joe Ghartey came to destroy it. They won't even say Akufo-Addo, they'll say Joe Ghartey. and you know that's the cheapest source of electricity. That's one.
Yeah.
The second reason why I was against Akosombo was because where it was landing, where the Dodi Princess is, you cannot create any economic activity there. It's all rocky. They took me to some other side. The third reason was that place was a security threat. You know, you have a terrorist come and bomb your dam, you know, so you can't have a train with 1,000 people, 400 passing there. So I said, no, you can't go here. But then when the thought came about the line to Burkina, then we redesigned it for it to cross the River Volta. So now that's the first part of the line going to Burkina Faso. And you cannot do iron ore without railway.
You can't do iron ore without railway, that's true. Oh, that's interesting.
The things are sharing.